The confrontation lasted 7 heartbeats. I know this because a chronomancer in Silverymoon, one of the few whose magic still functioned, later reconstructed the event from temporal echoes. 7 heartbeats. Less time than it takes to read this sentence. Here is what the chronomancer found. Mystra emerged from the celestial stair at the threshold of Cynosure. Her mortal form was exhausted. The climb had stripped her of everything but purpose. Behind her, the stair dissolved into silver mist. Before her stood a single figure. Helm, the vigilant one. Armor that had never been breached. A gaze that had never wavered. She did not attack. She did not demand. Witnesses near the astral threshold described her posture as that of a petitioner, hands open, head bowed, the goddess of magic kneeling before a sentinel. She spoke. No one heard the words, but the chronomancer's temporal residue captures the shape of them. A plea, an explanation, a warning. The weave was unraveling. Something was consuming it, not from outside, but from within. A corruption that Mystra herself could not name. She needed to speak to Ao. Only Ao. And she was willing to accept whatever judgment followed, if only she could deliver her warning first. Helm listened. This is the detail that survivors find hardest to accept. He listened completely. He did not interrupt. He did not mock. For 3 of those 7 heartbeats, the god of guardians gave the goddess of magic his full, undivided attention. And then he said, no, not with cruelty, not with satisfaction. The chronomancer's echo suggests something worse. Helm spoke with the flat, uninflected tone of someone delivering a sentence that gave him no pleasure to pronounce. Ao had decreed that no god would enter the celestial plane until the current crisis was resolved. No exceptions, no appeals, not even for the goddess whose domain was dying. She tried to pass anyway. This is the moment where chronicles divide. Some say she attacked Helm. That desperation drove her to strike first. Others say she simply tried to step past him, betting that he would not strike a goddess in mortal form. The chronomancer's evidence favors the latter. Mystra moved toward the threshold. Helm raised his gauntlet, and she did not stop walking. 7 heartbeats. 4 had passed. What happens when both sides are right? Mystra was trying to save the weave, the foundation of all mortal magic, the legacy entrusted to her, the purpose of her existence. Helm was obeying Ao, the one command that defined him, the duty he had served without flaw since the dawn of the divine order. Neither was wrong, neither could yield. The collision was inevitable, and yet reading these accounts centuries later, I still find myself wishing, childishly, irrationally, that someone had blinked. On the 5th heartbeat, Helm struck, not a blow of rage or vengeance, a single, precise, duty-bound strike. The minimum force required to stop a goddess. It was enough. Mystra fell back from the threshold of Cynosure and did not rise. The chronomancer's echo records no final words, no dying curse. Just silence and the silver dust that drifted from her fading form. The same dust I keep in a vial on my desk. The same dust that still brightens when magic fails. The cruelest part, and I say this as someone who has spent years studying tragedy, is that nothing changed. The weave continued to unravel. The crisis Mystra died trying to prevent began anyway. Ao's decree remained in force, and Helm returned to his post, the vigilant one who had done his duty perfectly, while the goddess of magic lay dead at his feet. Obedience and righteousness had collided, and obedience had won. The chroniclers would call it justice. But could obedience become its own kind of tragedy?
The Impossible Archive is open. New episodes every week. Subscribe before the next entry disappears.